There we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome in to session 4. Can you believe it? Of May. And tonight's a big night for a lot of different reasons. So I want to begin tonight by talking about where we are in the alchemical process and the alchemical cycles. There we go. Can you see me a little bit better now? I think so. How is it going? I will give you the caveat. Some of you know this already because you were with me for live readings. If you were not there for live readings, don't worry about it. You don't have to be there for live readings. But I had quite a fall last night in the middle of the night. My son had food poisoning in the middle of the night and was crying for me in his bedroom. So this was about 12:31 in the morning. And I hadn't gone to bed till like midnight, and I haven't been sleeping this whole week because I have a new puppy at home named Bodhi, and so, which is an awesome thing. But if you've had a puppy before, you know that it's like having a newborn baby. And so I haven't really slept for the last week very much, 2-3 hours at a time, so I was really tired. So I went to jump up and run to Nick, who was getting really sick, and I tripped on the rug on my bedroom floor, and I landed on my knees and my face on the hardwood. So I'm hurting a lot. I haven't taken any good pain meds because I needed to be able to do readings and work today. So and I have a lot of makeup on, so you're not seeing my shiner. But it hurts to talk a lot, and it hurts to smile, kind of, because I fell right here on my face. So anyway, after a crazy full moon night, I sure did take a serious spill. My knees are really messed up. So I am going to take tomorrow off and just rest. But I want to give you a heads up that I don't feel super good. So if I see, and if it seems like my face is moving weird, I don't know if you can tell, but I just didn't want you to think there was anything else wrong. And of course, you know how it goes, right? It was food poisoning. By 3 in the morning, he was feeling perfectly fine. Like today, he's okay. And now I'm going to be hobbling around for the next month. I was just trying to get to him to help him. And it was really, my Nick is very sensitive. So, and he's so sick in the bathroom, right? And in the middle of being so sick, he's like, "But are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about me, dude. I came in here to help you." And meanwhile, like, my eyes swollen up like this and my knees are bleeding. Anyway, I had a bad accident last night, but I'm feeling better, and I just need to. You had the same thing happen to you, Bonnie? Isn't that weird? Is it some kind of weird Sag full moon thing? Anyway, I never like to cancel classes. I didn't want to cancel today. I feel good enough to do our 2 hours together, but I may not be like rock star tonight. You know what I mean? Like literally or figuratively. If I seem kind of not with it, it's just because I'm tired and I'm in some pain today. I tried to put on as much makeup as I can. But I do. I have so much to tell you, and I've been so excited to decorate my drum. I started my drum just because the flash tattoos take a long time, but I cut out the rest of them. I'm doing the chakra symbols around mine. You got a sheet of flash tattoos with your drum, you know what I mean? So you can just work with those. If you have other flash tattoos, a lot of you do have a fun little collection in your drawer from me and from other places where you buy flash tattoos. Thanks, you guys, for being so kind, by the way. I'm only telling you that this happened because I just don't want you to think that there's some other weird thing going on. I'm a very transparent person, and I fell impressively last night. I mean, it was like, you'd think I was a gymnast, like the way I tumbled kind of thing. Anyway, so you can use any flash tattoos you want if you want to do this part, and then I have some stones I'm gonna glue around the outside. Your set came with a lot of chip stones. Where's my drum? Well, I don't know what I did with the other one. I guess it doesn't matter because we're not working with it, but I showed you the drum that my team decorated, so you get kind of an idea of how you can work the chip stones all around. With your drum hide, I mean, it's an animal skin, right? So for me, I don't know if you guys know a different way. I've been taught only to use really water on your hide. You can use a little bit of very gentle soap, but this is an animal skin, right? So you don't have to go crazy, and I don't over clean my drums. But you do want to have, if you're going to be decorating drum with me tonight, here's my very impressive Chinette plate for you. Only the best and the finest here at Sage Goddess. I use disposable plates when I'm doing arts and crafts because I don't want to have to do cleanup. I do enough cleanup. So you'll want to have a damp washcloth. I have a glue gun here, but you can also use some E6000 to attach your stones. So these are things that you'll want to have with you if you're going to be decorating tonight. A lot of people watch, you know, during the crafting classes, and they do theirs later, and that's okay too. You know, maybe you just want to hang out and be present and laugh a little and learn a little, and maybe you want to decorate your drum later. So there's no pressure, you know what I mean? And you also don't have to. No way, Kimberly, isn't that cool? You also don't have to decorate it. Some people don't like to decorate their drums. They prefer just a natural skin, a natural hide with no, you know, crazy adornment and stuff. And I'm supportive of that too. So however you want to do it, tonight's your night for your drum, and I'm gonna decorate mine so that you kind of have some inspiration, and then we're gonna do a little Q&A. So I hope you are primed with some good questions. I'm leaving time tonight to answer questions, because I find in those Q&A sessions a lot of information comes up, you know, and I'm always surprised by kind of where it leads, and I'm also good with wherever it leads. I do want to start though. You're nervous to decorate it? No, don't be nervous. You're not going to affect the sound. What I will tell you is, my 2 cents, don't put a bunch of stones on the front, you know? Try to leave the front nice and flat, because if you're like me, I mean, I really play my drum and I'll just be knocking the stones off. Now, where you can put stones, and I think they look really nice, is around the edge. That's a nice touch. So over here, or between the sinew, you know, is a nice place to put a stone. So I'll be putting some stones around the edge. And then I pulled a lot of different saris out of my collection. Yours came with a piece of sari too. So mine is kind of a chakra balancing drum, and then my drum I'm giving away to one of you as just an open-hearted giveaway. I would like to give my drum to somebody who didn't get their tools for this month. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to post a picture of my finished drum. Maybe I'll do it tonight, but it depends on how I feel tonight. Maybe, hey Alexis, do you think it's okay if I send you a picture of it and you can post it after class for me? And then I would like to send it to one of you as a gift, because I have mine that my team decorated for me. And you know what? I'll let you pick. Do you want mine, or do you want the one that my team decorated for me? If you have a preference one way or the other, you can have either one. And that way, you know, this drum goes to a good home. I'm very lucky. I have a few drums that I really love. And so my intention as I'm crafting this tonight, I'm telling you that because it's part of my intention. As I'm crafting this tonight, I'm going to be weaving little prayers into it, knowing that it's going to a different home. And thanks, Alexis. I appreciate that. So yeah, so somebody's going to take this drum home. And I hope you like it. I hope you like what I chose. I worked with the Ishtar tattoos that we did for you, you know, for the centerpiece, and then and I kind of took it apart and reorganized it, and then I'm going to put the chakra symbols, these symbols, around the edge, kind of like that. So it'll have all your chakra energy, and then I think I'm going to put all of the chakra colors on your beater, or maybe I'll tie them to the back of your drum so that you have a lot of chakra balancing energy. Yay! Okay, good. So you'll be able, I'll put that in the Facebook group, and I'll let it run until maybe Monday, just so I can make sure everybody's had a chance to see it and enter if they want to see it, because some people are not on Facebook. That's really sweet, you guys. Okay. Isn't that sweet? Look at you, Sharon Linden. Talk about big hearts. She said, I would love the one you craft, and then I would pass my plain one on to another sister to decorate. That's why working with you guys is such a joy. It's like there's a lot of generosity in your hearts too. I really appreciate it. So centering your flash tats, can I give you a hint? I have a little tip, because I am picky about things being centered. Use the back of your drum as a guide. You're probably going to hold your drum like this, right? So it's kind of like an X. Or maybe not. Maybe you like to hold your drum like that, but I like to hold mine like this through the X. And so then turn it around and see what center is. Yeah, and you can kind of see your flash test through the paper, but I like to look at where am I going to be holding it and then turn it around and see, okay, so that's the top, right? So that's where I put the top of this. So whoever wins this, I'm assuming you're going to hold your drum the way I hold my drum, which is at the X through my fingers, right? Yeah, so anyway, for what it's worth. Now, some people could give two shits whether it's centered or not, and I'm kind of like that too. I mean, I wouldn't be so heartbroken if the thing wasn't like right in the middle. But to the extent you can center it, I think it's nice, and that's the way I do it, is by looking at, right? I see you, Sharon. Is that helpful? Yeah. And Stephanie's like, I've never held a drum like that particular style drum. So that's why I'm showing you. But you'll find your own way. You know, as you get used to shamanic drums, which always have the cross at the back. I mean, I don't think I have a single shamanic drum that doesn't have the cross. So you'll have to find, because it has to be comfortable for you, or your arm's going to get tired. So that's the most important thing, is finding your comfort zone so that you don't mind holding on to it for a while. Momo is super excited about us decorating our drums. Are you kidding? Momo's all up in our business. He knows what we're doing. He's super excited about it. I'm going to send him a picture. And I've saved a couple of pictures of the ones that you have done on my phone, just for my own like enjoyment. You know, Nathan did a beautiful job. He took the Angela Foe symbols. Did you see Nathan's? But quite a few of you have posted pictures of what you're doing, and it's inspirational to me too. So, okay. Now, I want to kind of back up for a minute. Get my bell. Give me my bell. Session 4 has begun. I'm going to work with a little Medicina first, because I haven't really cleared the energy field since my fall last night, and I, if you don't mind, I mean, you probably need it too, light my candle, and I'm going to, I already cooked up a charcoal disc over here, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of my incense. My AC is going to force that smoke away from me, so. My hands. Sometimes I do this stuff before, you know, rituals and stuff, but when it's class, I feel like I like to do it with you. And then just a little bit of the elixir. Because, you know, if you spray the elixir at every class, it does start to hold the energy of the month. And so now when I smell this, my body goes, oh, okay, this is what we're doing, separation. Okay, I'm glad you asked, because I was going to ask you this. There's something about this Phoenix elixir from this month that I'm obsessed with, and we don't have any more of it in the building, so I've been like using mine very sparingly because I don't want to run out. But part of me is like, would you guys want me to restock this one? We don't often do it, and I don't know that I can do it. I haven't asked Brooklyn yet. They may not have the ingredients, and they may not have the bottle, so I may have to put it in a different bottle. But maybe you could refill yours. But I'm kind of obsessed with this. And remember, you can also use it as a spray incense. And that's another way to diffuse that scent into your space. I've also been spraying this on my stones as I've been going through the month. I sprayed it on my wand last night, you know, before I did the full moon ritual. So yeah, Alexis can post the ingredients if you want to see the list of the oils that are in it. But it's one of my favorites that we've done. Yeah. Okay. So let me see if we can. I don't know if we can, because it really comes down to, do we have the bottles? Do we have the oils? May or may not. Have you smelled it with? There's a couple things. Have you smelled it with gold? Not to like take it over the top. Have you smelled it with gold? That's like kind of my favorite thing right now. And have you smelled it with patchouli? It goes in these different directions. If you add it to gold, or if you work with it with gold perfume, which is the alchemical scent from the beginning of the year, it takes it in a more feminine direction. When I wear it with patchouli, it takes it in a more masculine direction, and it's like I like it both ways. So, okay, that's good to know. just for reference. I like the bottle too. I'm going to burn just a little copal here too, just because I've had some, it's been a weird 24 hours. let's just cover all of our bases. So when you put your copal resin on, if you haven't seen how that burns before, some of you are new to this work, so it's kind of fun to show you. Do you see how it starts to bubble? Look, I'm really airing you out right here, right now. Do you see how it starts to bubble down, and it becomes a liquid? It goes from being that solid resin and it melts down into an oil, basically. Isn't that beautiful? So that's a nice copal bath for you. Just through the whole space. It's been a weird 24 hours. It's weird. And then last but not least, all the sage all the time. A little bit for that for you too. It's so good. And then some Palo. When I'm really doing a good clearing, I do it all. I do the Palo, I do the white sage, I do the copal. Oh, that feels good. Are you wearing it? That's so yummy. Okay. 2 other product things I want to tell you about. I normally don't talk too much about products and classes and things, but I do have 2 other product things to tell you about, and then an announcement to tell you, and then we're going to dive into tonight's content. I use the Quick Light or Quick Start charcoal. It's pretty shitty. You know, a third of the time it's not Quick Start, so I feel like it's false advertising, but it's also just what's available. I need some boom. I'm gonna get all the boom later. I'm gonna take a good pain medication when we're done. Okay, so the couple things I want to tell you, because a lot of people in Soul Shift are not on Facebook, so they always ask me, hey, if there's like a class tool thing, can you just show it during class so I don't miss it? The chakra keys, there's about 60 of them left if you want one. These are the things I taught you how to use. Do you remember in Crystal Masters? Not this month, but last month. Remember where you turn it right to lock the energy and you turn it left to unlock the energy? A lot of you didn't get your tools, and so I said, oh, I'll see if I can have more carved, and we did. We just couldn't get very many of them done because COVID. So if you want one of these are at sagegoddess.com. Everything's 18% off with code 18FULL. So I just want to make sure you knew that, because otherwise those people will come to me and go, I didn't know you had those. And I don't think it's exclusive to Crystal Masters. So, and then if you didn't get your full moon tools for June, there's still some left. I don't know how many are left, but we still have some of the kits for June full moon for Anat, which is the Capricorn full moon that's coming in June. Sometimes they're sold out by now, but this month we have some of them left. We had a few more this time than we usually do. We were able to get more of the plates and more of the bottles, so we had a little bit more inventory, which is good because usually it sells out and people get frustrated. So if you didn't get your June full moon tools, you can do that too. The last thing I want to tell you is my manifestation masterclass. Have you heard me talk about this? People have been asking me to teach a manifestation masterclass for a long time. I'm finally doing it. It's coming up next month. I think it's June 28th. And I'm only teaching manifestation once. It's a pay-per-view class, but it's free if you're in Soul Shift. So you guys, as part of your June membership, in addition to everything that you usually get, you get this class, which for everybody else is $39. For you, it's free. So what I will tell you is, if you want that, don't cancel your Soul Shift membership for June, because if you cancel your Soul Shift membership for June, you're going to have to pay if you want to take the Manifestation Masterclass, and that's $40. Your membership's $90, do you know what I mean? So it's like almost half your membership would just be for the pay-per-view class. So if you were thinking about canceling in June, you might want to wait and cancel in July. Although come July, we're doing my Perfume Around the World program. That one will not be free for Soul Shift, but there will probably be a discount for you. And that's running from July through August and September. So there are going to be additional perks to your Soul Shift membership starting this coming month. Now, this weekend is when the class launches. You guys get the class for free. There is a manifestation kit, a grid, a perfume, a candle, and a rutilated quartz bracelet, because it's the OG formula of my manifestation perfume, which has not been available for like 2 years. People have been waiting. That kit, I only have enough for like a quarter of Soul Shift members. So I want to give you a heads up that that is coming, and you may want to check out the website earlier than later, because there's going to be a lot of non-Soul Shift people taking the manifestation class and buying the kit. And so I want to make sure that if you guys get the class for free, if you want the tools, which don't, they're separate from the class, you may want to get in there a little bit early. Yeah, so the class launches Saturday. That's what's coming. You're going to see people getting excited about it. You don't have to register at all because it's free for you. So you will have automatic access to it, but you're going to hear people talking about registration on Saturday. It is not free for Crystal Masters. It's just free for Soul Shift. Perks of benefits, darling. So that kit, but I'm asking you, please do not share that it's coming on Saturday. This is all quiet, because if you guys share that loud and proud, the more people you share it with, the more people are going to know that it's coming, and then it's going to be harder for you guys to get a kit. I can't make more than what I'm listing of the manifestation kit, so I would zip it. Is this going to be in the classroom? No, not yet. It's a separate class that's coming. So this is not going to be part of your online classroom, but your membership covers that class. Does that make sense? And it's going to be a 2.5-hour masterclass on manifestation, everything I know that I've learned over all these years. And there's some stuff I'm teaching that I've never talked about before. So some of it you may have heard before, where I talk about the Hermetic principles and things like that, but there's a lot of parts of this that you have not heard me talk about, because I've been working with different teachers over the last 2 years since I taught anything about manifestation. So my own process has evolved, my own thought has evolved. I don't know how much the kit is. It's like the usual price. What are they usually, like $69 or $79? It's like that. I think it's $69. And then you can use your discount code on the kit. Yeah. It's going to be really exciting. What's in the kit? It's a grid with hessonite garnet, arvedzenite, yellow apatite, scapulite. What else is in the... There's a generator in the middle. It's a generator or a pyramid? It's got all the stones, everything from manifestation that you could want to work with. Plus, it's got 4 or 6 rhodozite crystals too. And then there's a rutilated quartz bracelet that we're going to activate during the ceremony. I'm going to teach you how to do that. There's a candle, and there's the original manifestation perfume, which is an oldie but a goodie. Saturday. It's not available yet. And you gotta zip it. Yeah, everything goes live at 7 a.m. Okay? Are you good? But are you good? So that's your heads up. If you want that class for free, make sure your membership is active in June. Sometimes people put their memberships on hold, but our system now automatically cancels memberships that go on hold. So if you put your membership on hold, you're still going to be considered out of the program and you won't get the class. So make sure you leave your membership in place. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love gridding, and it's exciting because a lot of new people are going to come to this class who, haven't seen what we do before, and they're going to be new to gridding, and you guys are experts now. I mean, we just had our masterclass on gridding, so I'm excited to see you put your skills to work. Okay, you ready? Okay, now let's talk about tonight's work. I want to introduce you. I try to do this each month when we get to session 4. I kind of want to introduce you. Yeah, it is true, Carly. I want to introduce you to where we're going in alchemy. We're leaving the phase of separation this month. Did you realize that? I'm going to make a big statement. You ready? Oh, I love you, Bonnie. That's the first thing that's going into my office on the wall. Because I still haven't used them. They don't want to be used yet. Okay. I'm going to make a big statement. You ready? It's a big statement. If you've done the last 5 months with me, And I mean, most of you have, right? There's very few people in the class who really like kind of are checked out and don't really know what's going on, don't come to class and don't, kind of haven't accessed the materials online. Most people are really engaged in doing the work, and I'm very proud of you because it's not easy. I'm going to tell you this: if you have done this work, January, February, March, April, May, you have done the hardest part of alchemy. The hardest part of this year, as of tonight, is behind you. And that's a big statement. That's a big statement. What alchemists say, and it always kind of stops me in my tracks, and I love that you're new, G. Pardo. That's why I always try to mention things, even though I know some of the older people know things, it's like I still try to loop in the new folks because I know you're new. This work is no joke. To Lorian's point, it's been hard for me too. There have been moments in these last 5 months, guys, that have, with this work, that have like kind of brought me to my knees, where I'm just like, I don't know how much more of this I can do, And a lot of it for me has been going through, and maybe this is the same for you, healing stuff from the past, where maybe I didn't understand it, I didn't process it, I didn't heal it, I didn't, calcinate it, I didn't, rinse it through the fires, the waters of purification. I didn't do that work at the time, so now I've had to go back. It's been hard, right? I have had to personally go back and re-alchemize a lot of stuff from the past, and that caught me off guard, I gotta say. I'm teaching this class, and I designed this class, and it still caught me off guard how much I hadn't done. And I think of myself, right? I'm reading the feed too. I think of myself not as somebody who sweeps stuff under the carpet. I mean, I try to deal with stuff in the moment. It's not always easy to do that, but I try to recognize, oh, I'm contracting, or oh, this could be a blockage, or oh, I need to work through this, or whatever. And I realized, wow, there's so much I haven't done. So, it's literally been like this, and tonight is this. And I want you to feel the energy of that, because it's going to shift your thinking, it's going to shift your energy, it's going to shift your focus. Part of it's conscious and part of it's subconscious, but I think part of you feels like we have gotten to the top of the elevator, or we have gotten to the top of the roller coaster, and now like we can take a deep breath in and we can begin that long, slow exhale. And I want to describe, did you do it? I want to describe to you what that long, slow exhale really is all about. And I'm not trying to get ahead of myself or start teaching you June's content in May, but is this interesting to you? I just like to give you kind of like a roadmap, like you are here, right, in this alchemical process, because it's easy with all the work that we do to kind of move away from the central core purpose of what we're doing. And so for me anyway, when I'm taking classes, I love it when my teachers say, let's be reminded where we are, let's remember where we've been, let's take just a quick peek at where we're going. And where we've been has kicked my ass. Okay, good. I'm glad it's good for you too. So now that you've had your nice ass kicking of a sort, right? And I'll say I'm grateful for it, because I've started to be able to process more of these specific things in my life without feeling so much sadness and grief around them. And that's big for me, because as much work as I do, there are still things where if you get me talking about it, like I can't stop crying, and it's some of it's mine, some of it's not mine, but it's so fascinating to me how there's still so many doors left to open and unlock and open and unlock. It's like we just, no matter how far in you think you are, it's like, right? So I hope this is somewhat of a relief for you. And I want to say this to you, and I usually only say things like this at the end of the year, but I want to look at you now, and I want to tell you, I'm proud of you. Congratulations. You have moved through, in my opinion, what's one of the toughest programs I've ever taught, one of the toughest parts of a tough program. If you've made it this far, the rewards are coming, and it's kind of a cool thing to think about, because the next phase is conjunction. What's conjunction about? Well, conjunction is when we take everything that's been separated and broken down and calcinated and rinsed and purified and everything, right? And we look at it, thank you for saying that too, Karen. We look at it and we say, okay, what are we keeping? It's kind of like when you take all the shit out of your closet. Have you ever done that? I don't like to do it. But you take everything out and you're like, what are you putting back? And you realize like a third of that stuff, if you're honest with yourself, you're not wearing it anymore. It doesn't fit. It doesn't look cute. It was from 1997, and that was a great year, but the style was awkward, right? And you've been carrying it around because your mom bought it for you, and I don't know, maybe I'm projecting. That's kind of where we are. We've taken all the shit out of the closet. We're looking on the floor and going, I hate those boots. I hate those boots. I don't like them. They're ugly. They're uncomfortable. I will never wear them again. And it's like, why are they in your closet, right? It's time to get rid of your boots. You know what I mean? Like, get rid of those boots. They're dusty. They're dirty. They're ugly. I'm trying to use a metaphor. You know what I mean? But anyway, you've got the boots. I've got the boots. It's time to boot scoot. What are the hidden treasures you found is the question. Like, what have you seen in this mix of things? And I think the biggest thing for me is this has been the separation phase. That's right, Karina George. We can Marie Kondo that, right? The separation phase has taught me that so much of what I've given psychic energy to over the last 10 years, not only is it not mine, it literally has nothing to do with me. It's almost like I've inserted myself into places. And it's been a permission slip for me to absolutely see that once and for all, and to completely disengage and disentangle myself from anything that isn't mine and anything that isn't relevant to me. And that's a game changer, right? Because it brings the gift of discernment. It really does. Because going forward, I don't think I'm going to get caught up the same way in things that aren't mine and aren't relevant to me, because I'll recognize it now, right? Like, ooh, this reminds me of this other thing. Remember that? And that thing wasn't mine, and that didn't relate, right? So I don't know what your treasure has been. My treasure has been, I really think I have a handle on what's mine and what's not mine. I really think I have a handle on, how to let situations be, and not to constantly feel the need to engage or insert myself or take responsibility for things that's not even appropriate, right? So it has, to Victoria's point, which is so beautiful, truth, life, changing, sorting, discarding, right? It's like, it's changing, sorting, discarding. It's like, there's stuff in here that just isn't even mine. It's almost like my closet's been full of other people's jackets. You ever have a party and people leave all their shit at your house? I end up with everybody's jackets, like their sweatshirts and stuff. And there was literally a cabinet in my closet at one point that had a bunch of other people's shit in it, like their sweatshirts and scarves and just, crap people leave at your house. And I was just like, I'm literally holding this stuff. I mean, people need to come and get their jackets back, right? Yeah. So, and we're used to shoving things in a closet. Oh, I don't know what to do with this. Let me shove it in my closet. And that soul closet gets really filled, and it gets dusty, and it gets cluttered, and then it starts to actually take up space in your physical form, right? And that's where we can see health problems, weight gain, you know what I mean, sluggishness. It's like osteoporosis. Like, we literally just start to collapse under the weight of it. And so I think for me, it's been this permission slip not to do that anymore, and to become aware of when I'm starting to fall into those traps and habits. Conjunction is really fun. These next 2 months of conjunction work think of it as, some people consider it a sexual union. It is the reintroducing of yourself to yourself, and both sides of who you are, the masculine and the feminine, have to now reintegrate. They have to now re-engage with each other, because you've broken everything apart, including your masculine and your feminine, right? And that's why we're looking at Venus and Mars, and how do you give and how do you take, right? And so how do you now, what is this process like of meeting yourself again, the both sides of you? And there's some, for me, I just want to share this last little bit with you, and then we'll move on to crafting. But for me, there's a little bit of grief in this next process, because as I re-encounter myself, I realize that some things have been lost. And maybe they're things I liked, or maybe they're things I thought were, good things or good experiences, or, I don't know. Maybe, and that's a judgment too. But as I come back to myself in this phase, and it's interesting, Judith said she feels like she's been starting this already, which a lot of you, how many of you, hands up, would say you feel like you've already started this? I have observed you already starting this, quite a few of you, in our Facebook group. And some of it's really interesting because it's kind of oblique. It's like in things that you share about your own personal life in the Facebook group, I can kind of see this transition happening, right? Instead of taking apart, we're putting back together. And so it's interesting because energetically, you probably just are ahead of it by a couple of weeks. So if everything that I'm saying to you sounds familiar, then you're right where you need to be for like next week, right? Or 2 weeks from now. Yeah, so I am extra proud of you, right? Yeah. I'm extra proud of you. And my hope is that you'll enjoy these next couple of months. Now, I will tell you, in June, I am taking you somewhere tough to begin. Okay? The worksheets for June and the first session in June, we're going to be looking at your fears. Because this is kind of the last piece of it. I wouldn't want to initiate you as an alchemist this year if we hadn't looked at fear, like straight in the face. Like, what are you afraid of? And the reason is, the biggest catalyst for my personal spiritual growth has been acknowledging what scares me and facing it and moving past it with some kind of declarative faith. And so we are going to be looking at fear, because if you don't do that part, when the two halves come back together, that can often be the most inhibiting factor to union, right? If you think about it, and we are going to look at like physical fears, like, oh, I'm afraid of spiders, but we're also going to look at spiritual fears. We're going to look at mythological fears. We're going to look at, philosophical fears. So we're going to look at all the things, and yours are different than mine, right? Somebody said they're scared of spiders. I'm not scared of spiders. Like, I love spiders. But, there's other shit that freaks me out. So I have my own issues, right? Now, you only have to look at fear as deeply as you want to, but I would encourage you to look, because what you will find is that you are bigger than all of those fears, right? And that realization, that moment, right, is big. It's transformative. When you realize you're bigger than your fears, then your fears, it's almost like, I don't know, a big dog trying to attack you, and all of a sudden it lays down, right? It's like, I'm bigger than those fears. And part of the reason I want to bring you to this moment is, I didn't do this work as well as I needed to in my 20s. And when I was diagnosed with MS, they thought it was a brain tumor. I think I told you that. And I had to face fears, big ones. And I had never really done that in such a conscious way. Now, I'm glad I did it, because what that process taught me is I'm bigger than my fears, right? And the fear I had to face was a pretty big one, right? For being someone who was, young and had young children. But now, because of that experience, there's very little that I am afraid of. Because I'm kind of like, I've already looked at some pretty tough stuff, so it takes a lot to rattle my cage. But you have to get to the point where your cage isn't rattled, where you don't live in that fear, because fear is the number one inhibitor to growth, change, transformation, manifestation, and abundance. Fear is the killer of dreams. It really is. And if you're afraid of what people are going to think of you, or what might happen, or, what if, you're going to what if yourself right into a little tiny box and live very small. And I don't think any of you are here for that. I think you're here to live into a big purpose. So my desire, I guess I should put it that way, in June, is for you to go as far as you can, and just see if you can uncover one fear that you can be bigger than right now. It doesn't have to be all of them. We don't have to conquer everything this year, but I would like you to Yeah, I love it. Sheila says, as a coach, she's a fear finder, right? And when I'm working one on one with people, I am kind of scanning you, like, let's talk about that, right? And I'm pretty good at getting right to your button. And then people usually cry. It's just like, well, it's my job though. My job is to sift through what you're saying and get to the punchline, because that's how we make real progress. So you're here for a big purpose. Yeah. And I don't want fear to hold you back. There's a beautiful meme I saw on Facebook the other day. And, for all the ways that Facebook is not a great thing, I do love the way for me, it sharpens my thinking sometimes. I feel, like my spirit guides and my higher self kind of curate my Facebook feed. Like I see things right when I'm supposed to see them. And the meme was not even from anyone in Soul Shift. I'll see if I can find it and I'll share it to you. And the gist of it is, right? What if you have this beautiful calling and purpose and capacity to hold it all, and the resources and everything, that you need to do it, and you only realize that at the end of your life, when you no longer have the opportunity and the space and the calling and the energy and all of that. I don't want you to look back and say, if I had just taken that bull by the horns, like what could I have done? And that is my number one mission, is to make sure that people don't look back and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wish somebody would have told me that. I wish somebody would have called BS on all the stuff that, that I say is in my way that really isn't in my way. And I wish somebody had been honest. And so I'm trying to do that for you, because I'm lucky enough I've had people do that for me, where they're just like, enough of the excuses. I don't want to hear the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if, enough. And I have people in my life who do that. And it's a constant drumbeat, because there's still that inner critic that's like, well, but what if people, or what if I'm not good enough, or what if I make a mistake, or what if I blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's big work. So anyway, thank you for letting me kind of deep dive on some of this stuff tonight, because this is a turning point class, this last session of May going into June. And not every transition between the alchemical phases feels like this, but this feels like a closing of one book of our work together, and the opening of a new book. And the new book, the first page, the first line of the new book is, it's time to come back together. And by together I mean you. It's time to call in from the east and from the south and from the west and from the north, and start to put everything back together, but in a much more intentional way now. And that work is beautiful, and you've earned it. It's a prize at the end of a really crazy obstacle course. So here's your ribbon. You did it. This is like part 1 of your graduation, everybody. Aw, thank you for that, Amanda. Yeah, well, you know what, Janisa, though, and the reason I'm hitting on all of that is probably because I'm right there with you. Work in progress. This is why I do what I do and how I do what I do. And this is sort of the core of coaching too, right? Is having some experience, so you kind of can see a little bit further down the path. But the best coaches I know are in the mix doing the work too. They're not like up on some pedestal going, oh, I've figured it all out, now I'm going to deliver this wisdom to you, or whatever. It's like, no, I'm right in the thick of this, and it has kicked my ass, and it has been surprising to me how hard it is. But I'm also seeing the rewards of it. I'm seeing it in my health, I'm seeing it in my energy level, I'm seeing it in my mental state, not as anxious and discouraged as I was last year. So hopefully all of that is coming to you, or will be coming to you in the next month or so. Let's come back together. So on that note, I feel like I'm doing a little striptease for you. Coming up with my root chakra. Oh, hey, here's my sacral chakra. Did someone say solar plexus? That's awkward. Anyway, I am going to sort my ribbons real quick. Oh, hey, heart chakra. I see you, girl. Oh, I love me a throat chakra. The music is kind of like working with my weird vibe here right now too. Yeah, jump in. I mean, look, cold turkey, hot turkey, there's no, you know. The biggest joke of a phrase in the English language is, I am ready. Oh, hey, third eye, I see you. Looking all shy, but you know how it is. And I've got a crown chakra right here. You didn't think I'd miss that, did you? This might be a nice soul star. Going to the higher dimensions tonight. But listen, how many people have ever told you they're ready for something and they're not ready? And then how many people have actually started to do something when they think they're not ready and they were totally ready? I think being ready is some BS. Oscar's over there rolling his eyes. He's like, you know, I don't know why you pay attention to this lady. She's crazy as the day is long. She's got some real problems, you know. She's turned a sorting of her ribbons into a striptease, for God's sake. Oh my God. Okay. What did I do with all my business? Hold on. It's true. If you're waiting to be ready, you're going to be waiting a long time, honey. And we're going to be in the retirement home listening to you talking about being ready. You're going to be like, oh, I'm ready, Athena. And I'm going to say, you've been telling me that since 2021. What year is it now? I'm done waiting for you. Okay. If you have some of your eye jewels, maybe you got these in a kit before. You can, you know I'm telling you the truth, too. Oh, get with it, honey. You've been saying you're ready for 30 years. Just kind of seeing how, oh, no, I don't want it to, well, I don't know. Let me see how I go. That's right. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to move over here and make myself comfortable for a little decorating. Yeah. Nobody's ever ready for anything, honestly. People think they're ready to have kids. They're not. I mean, who the hell's ready for that? And then people think they're ready to start a business. They're not. Who the hell's ready for that? I used to teach in a business school, and I still had so much to learn about owning a business. And I was a professor, a business professor. Oh my God, who's ever ready? You'll be ready, and it'll be too late. You gotta hit it now. Okay. So one thing that's really important, and I want to remind you, there's 3 areas to decorate on your. Wait, hold on a second. What did I do with my chipstones? Huh. I had my little bags of chipstones and now they disappeared. Well, maybe I'll just work with what I have. But you're invited to use your chipstones because it came with your kit. There's 3 areas to decorate your drum. There's the face of the drum, right? And we talked about that earlier. And finding the top of your drum. So this is the top of my drum. There's the sides of your drum. So if you don't want to decorate the face, which I completely understand, I'm kind of iffy about it too, you can definitely decorate the sides of your drum. And the places I like to see people decorate is right here on the skin. Although you can do some really beautiful painting with your gold pen. I could see you writing a poem and like little bits of the poem in each of these spaces. And then I also like to see you put crystals here in between the 2 pieces of the sinew. And then you have the back of the drum. And the back of the drum is a really nice space to take your ribbons. And it's more decorative than anything because it's not like this serves a purpose specifically. You know, you're not gonna work with these ribbons necessarily, but they're there for decor. And since mine is a chakra drum, and I like to, so let me show you what I'm doing. I like to take my sari ribbons and work with them at different lengths. Your kit came with 1, but you may have others in your little craft drawer, or you may have other kinds of ribbons that you want to work with. You can also take clothing that you love. Maybe you have, you know, beautiful, like I sometimes will buy vintage dresses on eBay and take them apart for the ribbons and the appliques and things. Do you ever do that? There was supposed to be a gold pen in your kit that looked like that. Yeah, it's like a gold paint pen. So if you didn't get that, just, obviously we can't fix it tonight, but we'll send you one. So just let support know, and they'll send you one in the mail. So I like to take my silk ribbons I like to work with them at different lengths, because when things look too perfect, it freaks me out. So just at different lengths, longer on one side, shorter on the other. And I'm trying to put one ribbon maybe for each chakra, although that might be too much. Maybe I'll just stay with these oranges since it's a phoenix drum, right? This is kind of pretty with it too. So I have these weird little, I have this lady on Etsy that I'm obsessed with her shop. I don't know if she realizes I stalk her, but every time she puts new ribbons on, I go and I buy them. And she puts them in these fun little plastic bags. I feel like it's like a little grab bag of these super fun little ribbons. I shared her Etsy shop in our Facebook group once, so it's there somewhere. And then what I like to do is just tie the ribbons through. And it's nice to start with this step because it's a prayer. So the gold pen is permanent, I believe. It's a paint marker. So yeah, I believe it's permanent. So I like to stop here and say a prayer. Yeah. And my prayer for this drum, because this drum is not for me, because I'm giving it away to one of you, my prayer for this drum is that the person who works with this drum will experience really deep joy as they play with it, as they play it. That this drum will bring balance and healing, and that the energy of this drum will infuse them, body, mind, and spirit, with all the energy they need to manifest and make their dreams come true. Amen, aho, and so it is. So then what I like to do is, I'm tying it right across the X. And just really focus as you're tying this knot, right? This is a prayer. And then you're sealing that energy, you're setting that energy. And then I like to take just the top ribbon and tie it over in a knot. That makes it secure without making it kind of bunchy. Bunchy is a very technical word that describes how it looks when you tie too much shit to your drum. It's very scientific. Okay. Now the next thing I like to do is work with a little bit of the oils. I'm actually going to grab from today's product tray that Sage got us. We finally have Copal perfume back in stock, and Copal is a perfect offering, right? It's purifying, cleansing. There's also mugwort and frankincense in this blend too. Hands through, and then just through the silk, because the silk is a living fiber. It will hold that scent. So when you get your drum, if you win this, and you wonder what that smell is, it's Copal and mugwort and frankincense. Isn't that really beautiful? And yours will be unique because it'll be your oils, your hashtag bunchy. We've all had bunchy undies before, you know? Bunchy panties. Yeah, with so much retrograde, a bunch of people have bunchy panties. They you know, they can stop with their bunchy panties. And so that's what it looks like from the front, right? So it's kind of pretty. It just hangs down, and it's kind of, you know, bohemian, and that's my vibe. Okay, now I'm going to move my incense burner away to a safe location, just because I tend to be a little bit, you know, moving a lot of stuff around when I'm crafting. So I'm going to move my candle also to a safer spot. Still near me, but not right in the line of fire. You can also take a perfume, any perfume that you want to work with, and anoint the rest of the drum. So finding the top and going clockwise, just at each of the places where the sinew connects to the body of the drum. You don't have to do these things. It's kind of just taking it to the next level. Here's my chipstones. They're right in front of me. Yay, I'm glad I found them. Okay. And I'm watching the feet. I know. Thank you, Renna. I was like, that might not work out for me. It's already been a shitty day. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how you do your flash tats on the drum. And what you want to do is you want to get the surface of the drum just a little bit damp. You don't, I'm not going to, I don't know if I have any water left in this to really wring out. I do have a little bit. Just a couple of drops, just to kind of moisten the top of the drum where you're going to be applying the tattoos. So it's not completely dry. And then one by one, you want to position these. I'm going to put them down first because I want to make sure they're all going to fit there in a good way. So these are the 7 chakra symbols. These are other Sage Goddess tattoos that I had in my drawer, and I was like, ooh, I want to make a chakra. Actually, this is going to have to go like that. Root, sacral, hold on, root, sacral, solar plexus. Where's heart? Here's heart. No, that's third eye. Oh, here's heart. Okay, heart. And heart needs to, for me, needs to be balanced with the top. Do you see that? So that's how I'm kind of placing them, so that I know they're gonna work. And then the throat. Third eye. And crown. Looks good, right? I mean, it's not rocket science, but I want them to be even. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna officially put them down without the plastic. So you take the little plastics off. Some of you may not have worked with flash tattoos before, so it's kind of fun. It's the same thing when you're doing it on your skin, right? You take your plastics off, honey. Get it off, honey. You don't want it to be bunchy, honey. And then again, we're making sure that that is straight, so that's going to look very good. I didn't really cut that one. Didn't do such a good job on that. Let me see. Yeah. Just because I want to make sure I know where the bottom of it is. If I was doing this for myself, I probably wouldn't be as picky, but I'm doing it for one of you, so I feel like it's gonna be all perfect. I don't want you to get it and go, wow, she did a real shitty job on my drum, everybody, check it out. Although you're seeing it live, so you would already know that I did that. And then it's so exciting because once you kind of get it moist, you can see the symbols through the paper. And if you want, you can like focus on the energy of that chakra, or whatever you're doing on, whatever the design is, like focus on the energy there, right? As you're laying it down. I don't know how this is gonna look, by the way, because I just made it up. It could look like, could look weird. Moist is not my favorite word in the English language. We've talked about this. In fact, I think it's one of my least favorite words. Treat is another word I don't like. People say, oh, would you like a treat? Oh, that'll be a treat. I don't like that word. So I guess my least favorite word would be a moist treat. But that word grosses me out. Nothing should be moist. Do you know what I mean? Food shouldn't be moist. You shouldn't be moist. Nothing should be moist, in my humble opinion. You like it, Stephanie? Tell me how you like it. What should be moist in your opinion? Now you gotta leave these for just a few minutes because you want to give them a chance. Anywhere from a few minutes, you know, to 2 to 5 minutes, something like that. So now what I want to do is take my beater while that's moistening. While it's moistening, it's horrible. It's just terrible. Now what I want to do is really think intentionally about what I want to do with this here beater. I'm going to be putting rubies around this drum for one of you. Isn't that pretty? I have these really pretty, they're not all the same size, but I have these really pretty rectangular rubies, and I've been saving them. And then I have, I've been waiting to see you, so I haven't really planned this out too much. But I have these really pretty cabochons. Like, what do you think of that? Isn't that beautiful? I'm not a real fan of having stones on the top, but there's just a couple. I have that one, and then I have this, which is a trapeche amethyst. But I think this is actually prettier. This is a trapeche crab cabochon. So I was thinking, well, that one or, I don't know, I think it's definitely the other one. What do you guys think? Should it be this one or the agate? I know, right? I think it should be the agate. Do you agree, or what do you think? The person who's going to get this drum is probably like watching right now, right? So, so here, come design your drum with me. So let me glue that on there. I'm not going to put other stones on the top because I don't like it, so I'm just going to assume that you don't like that either, but I don't want to overdo it. But I think that is really beautiful. I would love to decorate some drums and put them in like our Sage Goddess live sales. But I also like the idea that you guys are going to decorate your own. Isn't that beautiful? It's very regal, isn't it? Okay. Now what you want to do is you kind of want to test these just by lifting up the edge. This is my technique, by the way. If you have a better technique, can you tell us? Because maybe you've got something better that you do that is other than what I'm doing now. Oops, it's not coming off. Oops, what happened here? Let me see if this one's coming off. These are not transferring. Oof, yikes. Hope I didn't screw this up. Let me leave them for a little while longer and get them a little bit more wet. Go to the bathroom in the next room and just get some more water. Just let them be for a little while longer with a little bit more water. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some more water. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. one's starting to come. Okay, good. Good, it just needs a little bit more time. When I did the centerpiece this morning, it only took like a minute, and it was actually sliding off. So these are just a little bit more resistant, maybe. It's fun, right? And you can find cabochons. You want me to use tweezers? I think I have tweezers. Let me see if I have some in my magic bowl of miscellaneous goodness here. I do. Look at me. All that Girl Scout training really paid off over here. Okay. That's a good call, Rita. Yeah, I'm going to let it be for a few minutes here. Now for the beater, where are you, Beta? I want to carry the ruby energy through, so I have this little tiny ruby that I'm going to put right here at the top for this person. And so this is the first stone I'm attaching to this beater. I'm just going to put a little bead of glue right there. And here I'm going to attach it with the flat side, the table down of the stone. And I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, pretty, sweet little ruby. And then your kit came with rhinestones, your kit came with carnelian chipstones, and your kit came with clear quartz chipstones. So what I'm going to do is set this aside for just a minute. And I'm going to pour out my chipstones and mallow crystals. What decal did I use for the middle of the drum? These were the it was Ishtar, wasn't it? Or was it Ishtar or yeah, I think it was Ishtar tattoos that we did. I don't know when we did those. It was last year, I think. I think we still have them, but I don't know if we have them. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Leah. Oh, pull it off before it dries? Okay. Interesting. I'm going to leave the towel on it. That might help too. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to attach some of these red crystals to the top, like kind of all the way around the ruby. These little red, like marquee cut crystals. I kind of like those. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue down. And one of those. At least on either side of the ruby, I think will be very pretty. I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. That's a gold one, and that's pretty. Maybe I'll alternate red and gold. And again, for this part, your intention here is this is the part that you're going to be holding, right? This is where your hand will be. So you want to think about the energy of what you're trying to create. I want this to feel like a royal scepter kind of for okay, good. Don't let them dry out. Let me double check now, since you guys are saying it's better to take them off when they're wet. Let me try now and see. They're not coming in a good way. I'm kind of bummed. I don't know. Hold on, let me show you. Oh no, it did. It's a little wobbly, that one, but you know, I think it'll be okay. The person will know the energy of the spirit of the energy of it is there. No. Well, I'm not sure this is gonna happen for me, guys, because they're not coming. No, they're coming right off. I think it might be the tattoo that I chose, the chakra ones. Unfortunately, yeah, none of them are working, and they're kind of just scaling off. So I think what I'm going to do, not while we're here tonight, just because I don't want to mess with your time too much doing this, but I think what I'm going to do is finish the rest of the Ishtar designs around, because this I can get off with my fingernail. It just kind of comes right off. So I think what I'm going to do is take these off and then finish the Ishtar design. Although the heart chakra down there looks pretty. Maybe I'll leave that. And then, oh, the throat did it. Maybe I'll go back and try and redo the chakras later, because some of them did work. Oh, look, you guys, some of them worked. What do you think? Maybe what I'll do is just redo the... Can you tell me your honest opinion? Do you think I should just redo these later? Because this is flaking off and that's flaking off, and redo it? Or do you think I should take them off and do a totally different design? The chakras are pretty, right? Yeah, not wet enough, but these did fine. What do you guys think? Should I continue the chakras, and just because I have more of the chakra symbols, I could just fix these? You like it? Yeah, but keep the chakras. Okay, Nathan, you're the rock star here, dude. So I'm gonna follow your guidance. Okay, so I'll fix that later because I don't want to do that with you now. I do think these look really pretty. Okay, good. I'll do the chakras. I would want the chakras because I think it looks really pretty. I just need to give it more time. Okay, so now I'm going to finish my beater. And then we're going to drum together. It's pretty, right? Okay. I really like it with the chakras. If none of them had worked out, I would have just done the rest of the Ishtar design, but I really do like the chakras. And it was my original idea and intention, so it kind of feels, you know, not right to do something else. It's weird how I had a much easier time with the other tattoos though. The non-colored ones, the gold ones, were much easier. I don't know what that's about exactly, but they dried faster and were more responsive. Okay. Tattoos on my hand. I'm like, what is that? What's on your hand, honey? Okay, I'm really happy with this. I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of like detail work, but I put the rhinestones around the top. I'll take the little glue bebops off later. It's life with a glue gun. But you know what? I kind of like it. And then I'm going to just add a layer of glue along here and some of the carnelian chipstones because I want some of that fire energy. I'm just tapping it in like that. And I'm thinking about this person as the phoenix now as I'm doing this, and thinking about them rising above the circumstances of their life, you know, and meeting the challenges with courage and grace, learning, you know, the art of resilience and really what they're made of, what this person's made of, that through their drumming they will come to know themselves better, that they'll come to trust their wisdom and their intuition, and they'll learn to trust the process too, not try to control it all the time. What else am I wishing for this person? I'm wishing for their strength and their passion. I'm wishing for them to come to life in a new way that even surprises them a little bit. That would be good. And I'm wishing for them to manifest their soul gifts for other people so that other people can enjoy what they know and what they do and benefit from it, and that they can benefit from that as well. I'm very happy with that. We just judged it. I mean, you could judge the whole thing, But I actually think, you know, in cases like this, less is a little bit more. Because you can overdo it, and then it loses some of the elegance. You know what I mean? There's a certain simplicity that's nice when you're decorating. So that feels good. Yeah, right? And then, what else? Is there anything else that I want to do with these? I think that feels really good. I think I will put some, just a thin layer of quartz underneath that, just to magnify the energy. Just a thin little layer of quartz. Don't want that piece though. Get out of there. Oh, I like this, you guys. I like the quartz underneath it. It almost looks like an ombre, doesn't it? Going down. I really like this. So now I'm just blowing this person up. I'm like, we're going big, honey. Big purpose, big passion. Your drum was made by a Leo. We don't do things small. Everything is Texas-sized in Leo's world. The bigger the better. More, more, more. More you, more power, more authenticity, more joy, more money, more resources, more happiness, more time, more peace, more sex, more sleep. Maybe you don't want more sleep. I want more sleep. That's because I'm in puppy town right now. Okay, I'm gonna take that. I don't like this one. Sorry, I didn't like that one. I want it to be clear and not white. Oh, I really like that. I'm very happy that I took that extra step. Look. It's kind of pretty, right? Can you see it? Yeah, there you go. It's kind of pretty. And I like how the little rhinestones catch the light. Just pull your little glue pieces off there and away we go. When do you get to meet the puppy? Well, not today because he's at the office with Dave. Because I didn't want him to be, you know, when I'm not there, he is yappy. When mommy leaves the room, Bodhi goes, and it's loud. So, probably the next time, maybe we'll do an SGTV. Maybe we'll go live this weekend with him. Just into our Soul Shift Facebook group so you can meet him. He's kind of like your nephew. Yeah. Now you know what my bedroom sounds like at night. He's a cutie. If you didn't see the picture, I can show you. He's so adorable. I'm so proud of him. He's a really good boy, too. Can you see it? That's my Bodhi. Isn't he cute? He's a cutie. Smudge is very interested in Bodhi and follows him around and then lays next to him when he's in his crate. Isn't that funny? Because we do crate training, so we're those puppy people that do crate training. I don't know how to raise a dog without a crate. I've always crate trained dogs, so. He's got a real nice crate, though, I'll tell you. That little puppy is not hurting. Yeah. He does have puppy breath, and he likes to lick my face. But it's okay. It's okay. Okay, are you ready? So now that we have decorated our drums, and just pretend that mine's all done. Oh, I forgot to do my rubies on the side. Hold on. I gotta do that. It won't take me very long. Let's go back to the other camera. Sorry. The person who gets this drum has to have their rubies, and I've been saving these rubies for this drum, so I don't want to miss this part. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to go clockwise. So I'll start here. So this ruby right here is for this person's passion. That they find their passion, that they live their passion, and they embody their passion. Let's make sure that's straight. There you go. Isn't that pretty? And this ruby here is for this person's protection. I should have put a bigger ruby there. Isn't that pretty? And this ruby here is for this person's loved ones, for their memories. And their ancestors too. The ones that came before. And this ruby here is for this person's zest for life. That they remember their purpose. And this ruby here, what is this one for? Spirit. What does this one need? This ruby is for strength, is what the guides say. This ruby's for your strength. Oop, no, you guys don't belong there. You're like hitchhikers. Nope. Don't go there. And then this ruby here is for this person's connection to love and to the soul's mate. And this ruby here is for this person's faith. And the last ruby, I wanted to use this one. It's a different shape, but it has black tourmaline in it. And so this one is for their grounding. May they always stay rooted and anchored. Whoop. Oh, where'd you go? There you are. May you always stay rooted and anchored. It's the ruby drum with hangers on. These guys are a joke. Okay. I got some glue cleanup to do later. Yay! Okay, good. This drum feels complete to me now in a way that it did not before. Had to do that. I know which side is the top based on how I hold my drum. So I go by the cross and I hold it here like this, and so I based my design on that. So the top is here, and so the first ruby went here, and then I set the intentions going clockwise around. I love that. I'm so excited for whoever wins this to win it and receive it. I promise it won't come with all the glue hickeys. Okay. Now, I have a song that I would like us to drum to together, but I want to refresh our drumming skills. So that we can remember what we were doing. So do you remember we were just single beat, right? Nice and easy, just to get into the flow, and this is easy for us to drum together. You're so welcome. Glue hickeys. I always have weird names for things. It's not a doohickey, it's a glue hickey. You're right, Sharon. Ooh, feels good, doesn't it? It's amazing how it's all of a sudden you feel your spine start to straighten. Energy starts to shift, coming into present time, just being here now, right? Then we'll go from the single beat everybody the weekend to enter. Yeah, I'm glad you're excited. And then there is the shamanic beat. Remember, this is the downbeat. Okay, so I'm going to play the song, and I want you to kind of like feel into the song. It's on one of my SoundCloud playlists. It's on the drumming playlist, but it's one that I really, really like. And I felt like my spirit guides were leading me to play this one for you today. And then, so if you like it and you want to go back and play it, you can. It's called Heart Warriors. And I think it's a beautiful one. It's easy to drum to. And so I don't know if we can get more drums because it's the pandemic, and Momo had these made in Bali like 6 months ago. So, but I definitely, if I can get more drums, I certainly will. It's just, you know, the world's in a weird place right now, but we will work on it for you. So I want you to take a deep breath, center yourself, right? Focus, connect with your drum. Again, you know, we blessed this drum last week, right? Just giving thanks to the spirit of the animal that provided the skin, giving thanks to the spirit of the tree that provided the frame, right? Giving thanks to the spirit of the artisan who did all of the handiwork to bring this beautiful tool to you. Yeah. So watch, I would say listen to the song and then find your way in. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to drum along with this song, so let's go. You'll find your way in. suggestion. drummed it through. 11 minutes that was, darlings. That song is called Heart Warriors by Byron Metcalf. And it's on SoundCloud on my drumming playlist, which is free for you to go and follow and enjoy. How do you feel? Did you enjoy that? I'll tell you something. This is why I did not postpone class, even though I'm a hot buttered mess right now. I feel so great. I mean, most of my pain is gone. Because I fell on my cheek right here last night, and when I was holding the drum and I was setting the intention that the sound would reach my, cheekbone, and I was envisioning all the cells here just opening to receive that sound as a healing frequency, and it was pretty amazing. Like, it doesn't hurt as bad to smile. So thank you for, being you and being here and helping us all do the thing tonight. Well, I am a hot buttered mess. But yeah, if you don't have your drum, I mean, Dave would tell you I am my own musical instrument. I'm always like, what do I got? What do I got? Shake me something. Shake it. But that's, I'm a double fire sign. I'll shake something. If I don't have anything else, I'll ask him to bend over and I'll give his booty a slap. Thank you. I will receive your healing with much gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you have fun tonight? I hope that tonight felt as fun for you as it did for me. And I hope that tonight feels uplifting to you. Because I know, because I'm doing the class with you, that the last 5 months have been challenging. And so tonight is a mini graduation. It really is. Tonight is really your evolution. And so I look at this, even though this is not the halfway point, right? Once we get through June, we'll be at the halfway point. But content-wise, we're halfway through alchemy, in the sense that the first phases of breaking down and separating and purifying and all of that work is complete. And so now the work of coming back together begins. So it's now this is a gesture. What June is a gesture toward wholeness and toward integration and toward reunion. And again, the union, we think of it as masculine, feminine. In alchemy, they talk a lot about the king and the queen, but the reality is this is just you. You are both of those things. You are the king and the queen. You are the yes and the no. You are the this and the that, right? So I'm really delighted to see how far you've come. Yeah, and I had a lot of fun tonight. What other questions do you have that I might be able to answer for you? So I'm going to continue my journey with this drum tonight. I'm going to take off the cymbals that didn't make it because they're just kind of peeling off, and then I'm going to fix this drum tonight, and then I'm going to post a picture of it in our Facebook group. So Alexis, it's going to take me a minute because after we're done with class tonight, I'm going to repair this, but I probably won't have a picture for you until the morning. So I will post a picture of the drum. Unless, Alexis, you just want to grab a screenshot, but I think we should wait and post it accurately. Instead of posting it and going, but don't worry, it won't look so janky when I'm done with it. I have not taken percussion lessons, but I have worked with teachers who've taught me how to drum and have led drum circles and come over and been like, now double time. Right, and started to build my confidence. But it is definitely getting better at drumming and getting better at talking while you drum and doing ceremony and calling in the directions, and all of that is just practice. Yeah. I love that. Yvonne says, must peel glue off fingers. Are there any other things we shouldn't be putting on our drums, from Cindy Walsh? That's a great question. I think it's really up to you. My thing, Cindy, is I don't like the surface to be cluttered because I do use all parts of the drum when I'm drumming, and so I don't like to feel like I might chip a stone off. I was mildly hesitant to put the caboche on there, but I think it'll be okay. But for me personally, I wouldn't put any additional stones on. I do love the touch of putting the ribbons at the back and anointing with oils and setting the intention. That makes it almost like a prayer tool. Yeah. More about the next phase. So the next phase is we're going to do both conjunction in terms of the two halves of you being reintegrated, your masculine and your feminine, but we are also doing union energy outside of you, meaning energies of love and passion and desire and connection. We're going to be looking at Kundalini energy, maybe a little bit of Tantra. There is a little bit of sexy energy that's coming through our June and July content. So if you've been looking for like reconnecting with inspiration, reconnecting with passion, reconnecting, because one of the goals between June and August in Soul Shift is that you will refine your soul's purpose, your dharma, and start to articulate it. And I'm going to be pushing you a little bit more to articulate what that dharma is and how you're going to bring it to the world, because that's ultimately the final stage of this, right? The goal, the magnum opus of this process, the ultimate outcome really is the ultimate expansion of you. And so what does it look like for you to get bigger or to be more active, maybe, with your soul's gifts, and how, what for you that would look different than maybe it looks for me, right? So we each have to articulate what that path is and then how we're going to find our way through. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love that you had a drum from something else and you used it tonight. I will always encourage you to purpose and repurpose your tools. I think that's really important. That's right. Your drum smells like Tantra. Yeah, baby. It is 5:55. Well, so for the last time this month, although I'm going to keep working with my candle, but I extinguish my candle and May is done. May is done. Can you believe it? Oh, interesting. Yeah, and fear, like I said, is going to be the first step we have to take next, because I need you to shed those fears if you're going to pursue your dharma more openly and actively, right? So fear is what you have to kind of get over the hump of that in order to take your next steps. I think you can spray your perfume on your drum. I mean, I wouldn't just sit there and like spray, but what I like to do with my drums, rather than spray them with perfume, is spray the perfume onto me and anoint the drum. Did you see me do that with the copal oil? That way it's a more delicate touch, because especially with the flash tattoos and everything, I mean, it's an animal skin, you're not going to hurt it by putting perfume on it, but if you have flash tattoos and crystals and stuff, I would be careful not over saturating it. Yeah. You want more alchemy tools? I was so sad this morning. We found out that, do you remember the wands we had last year for Soul Shift, the Angela Fos wand and the little wandlet? And he's made other things for sagegoddess.com. Passed away from COVID this weekend in India. And he's been just a steady for us, like such a great human too. And I got the email this morning from my team saying, oof, we lost him, So that was a real sad moment for me, because we have a few people that we work with who make wands and tools and things like that, but not a lot, and he kind of gets what we're doing and, understood the intention. And yeah, that was a huge moment for me. Yeah. Now I've lost 2 of my, crystal people to COVID. Sucks. Yeah. And it's hard when they're, it's like they're not old, and just like, just a life that, should have continued. Wouldn't it be better not to use the chakra symbols where you're beating the drum? I think you'll be okay. I mean, I'm not going to be, it depends. If you're using this drum every day for an hour a day and you beat in the same area, you might end up removing the symbol. But I think in general, yeah, I think you'll be okay. I will try to get more of the Phoenix Elixir. Alexis, can you help me with that? It's just a question of, do we have the ingredients? Do we have the bottles, right? Yeah. Karina said she noticed that I kind of added my own beat. I wasn't like mimicking what was in the song. And she said, is this how shamanic drumming works? It was like you added to the band. Yeah, it's how shamanic drumming works. It's kind of how drum circles work too. Like everybody adds their own rhythm and it becomes this whole other song. I think it's important to stay with the rhythm of the song, but you don't have to repeat the actual percussion line. You can do something unique and add your own, your own twist to it. So, hi Ariana. No, I'm not related to her, but it sounds like a very Greek name. Interesting. Transforming the lower self. No, but I have to look up her book. All Greek people feel like we're related to each other. It's really true. I've never met a Greek person that I didn't like. It's like, thanks you guys. Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace him because we've been working with him for a while and he really gets it, So anyway, sweet medicine to his spirit as he crosses, and on we go, right? Oh yes, I wanted to tell you a story. Thank you. Do you mind if I take just 5 more minutes to tell you the story? Because it is really important. And it's actually very important for this transition from separation to conjunction. So can I take 5 minutes over the top of the hour? Okay, so one of my teachers who I was most formative in my journey in my, I would say my early to mid 30s. So this is about 15 years ago now. Told me this story. And you know how people tell you stories sometimes and you forget them, and then other people tell you stories and it's like you'll never forget it. I remember where I was when she told me the story. I remember what I was wearing. I remember very vividly sitting and watching her tell this story. Alexis, Heidi's asking about the schedule real quick while I'm telling the story, so would you mind just popping in? I don't think we have class this coming week. I think we start the second week of June, but Alexis will fill you in on that. No, he did not make that other alchemy wand. That was a different person. We have about 4 people who work on wands for us, so thank you for asking. Yeah. Okay, so here's the story. I'm not going to get distracted now, but I just want to make sure that you guys got your questions answered. So she said, I'm going to tell you the story of the 2 teepees. It's a short story, and you're welcome to, if it resonates with you, you can take it and share it as your own. It's so profound to me, though, and you're going to see the resonance in your own life, maybe. I've had a lot of 2 teepees. So she said she went on a vision quest in New Mexico with a shaman friend of hers. It was a peyote vision quest. And I think she told me it was either her first or second vision quest. She hadn't done a lot of vision questing. Do you know what a vision quest is? A proper vision quest, and it can be with hallucinogenics like hers was, or it can just be, not with anything. A lot of them, you don't take anything. You're just out there kind of rolling as you are. So she was on a peyote vision quest. Nathan remembers it. It makes me cry. And so a vision quest is when you go basically into the desert, into the forest, and it's a couple of days and you're kind of on your own, and you usually don't bring a lot of food, you don't bring a lot of creature comforts, and so it kind of deprives you of your of everything that creates your structure, so it puts you in a different mind frame, and it allows you to connect with spirit guides and hear your inner voice a little more accurately than you normally would, right? So so she was doing peyote with him, and they were going through the desert Southwest together. And she said it was late, or early, depending on how you look at it, middle of the night, right? And the sun was just starting to come up. That time between 4 and 5 a.m. when you're like, is it light or is it not light, right? It's like the light is changing. And she said they looked off into the distance together, and she said, I didn't know what to make of it because we were in the middle of nowhere, and I looked off in the distance and I saw 2 teepees. And I said to my partner that I was with, because you usually go off on a vision quest in pairs so that you have someone if you get into trouble. And they obviously were working with peyote, so they were having these hallucinations, these visions. And so there were 2 teepees off in the distance, and she said, I want to go to him, right? And he said, no, we can't go. And it just gave me chills. No, we can't go. And she said, why? I want to go. I want to see what they're doing. I'm hungry. Maybe they have food, and we can do ceremony with them, And he said, you can't go toward those teepees because one of them isn't real. And if you enter it, you won't come back. And she said, well, how do you know which one is real? And he said, you don't. You only know once you enter it. You only know once you enter it. And he said to her, one of the teepees, when there are two teepees, one teepee is often not real. And you won't know until you are too far in and you can't come back. Yeah. You know? And I think about, there have been a lot of two teepees in my life. You know, decisions between two men, for example. And I chose the right teepee. One of them was not real. And my life would have been so different if I had made that other choice. But I didn't. And I walked into the real teepee. But I couldn't have known it. They both looked very real. And that was the wisdom from him. He said, you know, from here, they both look real. There's smoke coming out of both of them. The skin of the teepee is lit from the, you know, we can see it here. They're both lit. But one of them is not real. Isn't that crazy? Crazy, crazy story. Does it resonate with you too? Have you had two teepee moments where you're like, you could walk into one of those teepees and it looks really good. You know what I mean? And it's like the lights are on, the smoke is coming, right? But you just know that if you'd gone that other direction, it wasn't real. A lot of relationships are like this for me. One of my, I mean, even down to things like today, like holding class when I don't feel good. I want to be a real teepee. I don't want to be the not real teepee in my life for people. And that has been kind of a heavy mantle to carry. But I want to be a real teepee. And I've had so many people in my life who are not real teepees. You know, you move into that space with them and you realize that there's nothing there. You know, and it looks real and it feels real and it smells real. The lights are on. But there's kind of nobody home. And so I wish real teepees for you in your life. I wish that every teepee you enter is real. And that there's good medicine for you inside of it. Woo! And you guys are real teepees too. And I appreciate that because I've received really in so many ways over all these years the gift of discernment. Because I asked her too, I'm like, so how do you know? And she's like, Athena, you won't know. You got to keep moving. You know what I mean? Thanks, you guys. You guys are a real teepee too. And being a real teepee means being real, right? It's like not just showing up when it's easy or, you know, giving the easy answer that everybody wants to hear or, you know, it's like real is real. So, isn't that interesting, Kaz? He's a real teepee. Anyway, thanks, you guys. May you always walk into the real teepee. And if you don't know, may you have the wisdom that he had to say, we can't go. You know what I mean? One of them's not real. And you won't know till you know. Amen, aho, and so it is. If I was going to make one wish for like my kids, truly, is that they would always know the real teepee. You know, that they'd be given the gift of discernment to know what's not real. And I'm teaching them that in my own way, because I think if you give this story to people who are too young, they won't understand. You know, like if I told my kids now, they wouldn't understand. It's almost like you have to go through some kind of heartbreak or loss or discouragement maybe, don't you think? To kind of understand that story. Otherwise you don't know. You'd be like, well, what is a fake teepee like? But once you've been hurt or thought you were moving into what is a good relationship and you got taken advantage of or, you know, abused or worse than that, right? It's like once you have that experience, I think you know what a real teepee is like. And you definitely know what a not real teepee is like. Yeah, it makes your heart break a little bit. Well, you do learn from the not real ones, don't you? Space Daisy, right? Thank you for that, Dr. Chris. You are learning from the not real ones. And then in my life, I look back and I'm shocked still by how real some of them looked from up on that hill. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I'm older now, I'm wiser now. I think I would probably still have walked into some of them. And maybe that's because the wisdom that I gained from those experiences was so important. That, I think the universe lets us go through these struggles and challenges, right? But some of them, I have to tell you, if I'm being really honest, I'd probably still walk into them today. But I wouldn't be as wounded by it, right? Because there isn't as, I have better boundaries now. Yeah, it's a mirage. It's exactly right. It's like, and those not real teepees can take you down. Have you had that experience where it's like, ooh, when he said you don't come back, it's, yeah, there are good actors, and then there is real. Sometimes you gotta hunt and seek it, but I will tell you, what I have found is the more real you become, the more real everybody around you becomes, because ultimately everybody around you is a reflection of you. And the people who aren't real, the not real teepees, the fake teepees, it's almost like there's no resonance between you and that anymore, and it doesn't happen as much. I have very few not real teepees happen in my life anymore compared to when I was in my 20s and 30s, and I feel like most of them weren't real. So I don't know. I think you learn, and I think eventually, don't you, that you vibrate in such a way that the not real just, it's like Velcro that won't connect. It's like it just doesn't even have the thing. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So cheers to you. I see in all of you, truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I see wisdom and discernment. And I also see the active effort to be in a place of wisdom and discernment. And intention is 90% of magic, right? So, yeah, they hurt a lot, but they do teach you, and I think you're exactly right about that. Yeah, and like Samantha says, it's beautiful. She said, I think that is true. You can only be met as honestly as you meet yourself. So when all the bullshit is gone. So, and this is actually a beautiful way for us to wind up this class, because I can tie this directly back to alchemy, can't you? When you signed up for this class, I mean, I don't know where you were. I don't know what was going on specifically. I don't know what made you say, yeah, this is where I want to spend some of my time and my resources in 2021, right? But ultimately, I think alchemy is about learning to avoid the fake teepees, and not just through discernment, but through the way that you yourself shave off and slough off a lot of the energy that created the opportunity for those teepees to appear to you in the first place. And so it's a two-pronged approach, right? One is you're getting clearer, your vision is clearer, you can see things for what they are, whether you like that or not. It's part of growing up and maturing, right? But on the other side of that is the lack of resonance that's there because you're cleaning out your pipes, right? It's the shit that's in your pipes that makes someone able to vibrate with you at that resonant frequency, and for you to be able to fall for that. So it changes everything, right? I know, that's how I feel too, Pamela Walsh. She's like, I can't believe it's been 5 months, right? Yeah, and I'm with you, Danielle. I mean, I'm closing in on 50, and she said I have way less fake TPs, and me too. I feel like there's much less of that. And I'm also more willing to say, I think this is a fake TP and walk away. Versus in my 20s and 30s going, well, what if it's real though? I should probably check. Well, I don't want to go all the way in, but I'll just go and I'll knock on the door and I'll pull shouldn't have pulled the thing back. Now I'm just like, that shit's not real. I'm not doing it. And I think that's the gift of age, right? Yeah. So, aho, and on we go. Thanks, you guys, for being here tonight and for being here in general. And thank you to Alexis, as always, for being here and part of this work that we do. Mm-hmm. Something special's happening, and it's beautiful. And it's the time is now. And don't you think we're seeing this in our world too? In politics, in every facet of our society, right? We're seeing the real teepees, the fake and the real teepees. And I think it's just the energy of where we are. And I think part of it is it's like a collective sloughing off, right? You guys are doing this on the personal level, but we can see the collective doing this thing too, this sloughing. And it's not always pretty, but it's absolutely the key to everything that you want, which is clarity, prosperity, joy, healing. You know, it's all sitting there in the real teepee, but you got to have the gifts. Yeah. Thank you for that. That really means a lot to me, Rochelle. Thank you to all of you and your beautiful comments. It's been a joy to just even read your comments and kind of see your feedback. Even if I didn't say your comment, I read it. So I'm grateful for you. All right, I'm going to go fix this drum, take a painkiller, and get in bed with your... But can I seriously tell you something? I have no pain in my face. Earlier today, if I just went like that, I mean, and I haven't taken any Tylenol, Advil, put nothing on it, and it's gone. So thank you for the healing that you facilitated for me tonight, too. I love you. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you very soon. Bye. And I'll show you Bodhi, too.